two storms hit the Brown family, one from the sky, the other from within. In October 2025, Sister Wives fans watched in shock as Mykelti and Tony Padron drove straight into a deadly tornado, hail pounding, winds roaring, prayers whispered. But just days later, another storm erupted. Not from nature, but from Robyn Brown's own words. When she said your kids instead of our kids, it shattered years of fragile peace. Two moments, two storms, both revealing what the Browns have been hiding all along.
No, I don't think Tony
And before
Mykelti
this
ever
story
really
ends,
plural marriage.
you'll hear the sentence Christine Brown said she'll never forget.
Relative get after.
Part 1. The Browns have seen emotional storms before divorce, betrayal, and heartbreak. But this time, nature decided to test them in the most terrifying way possible. Mykelti and Tony were driving cross-country with their twins, heading to visit family. The trip was meant to be calm, healing, until the sky changed color. Rain began tapping on the windshield, then pounding. Within minutes, Wasigas, the world outside, turned white hailstones the size of quarters slamming into their car. "I can't see anything," Tony yelled. Mykelti gripped the dashboard, whispering prayers. And just when they thought it couldn't get worse, their phones buzzed with an emergency alert. Tornado warning, seek shelter immediately. Tony tried to stay calm, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. Mykelti's voice trembled. "Tony, stop the car." But there was nowhere to go. No exit, no shelter, only flat, open land. The wind roared like a freight train. The hail cracked their windshield. And in that moment, Mykelti thought of her children and of Christine. She later said, "I just wanted to hear my mom's voice one more time." But the storm wasn't done yet. What happened next defied every instinct to survive. They pulled over under an overpass, but the tornado's path was shifting. A wall of debris began to spin just half a mile away. Mykelti covered her twins with a blanket. Tony shouted, "We need to move now." In that instant, Mykelti recorded a voice note just in case they didn't make it. "Mom, tell everyone I love them." But then, something miraculous happened. The tornado lifted and changed direction just as their car engine sputtered out. The next morning, the sun broke through. The car was dented, the road littered with branches, but they were alive. She posted, "We made it through something terrifying last night. I thought it was the end." The comments section exploded with love and questions. Fans wanted to know, where was God that night? Was this a sign? Did it bring the family closer? But not everyone believed the story, and soon a controversy began. As clips from the storm went viral, skeptics online accused the couple of exaggeration. "That wasn't a real tornado," one user wrote. Others questioned their parenting. Who drives with babies into a storm? But then came the twist. Official meteorological data confirmed a Category EF1 tornado touched down within 3 miles of their route that same hour. The truth silenced critics and turned their near-death moment into one of the most talked-about sister wives stories of the year. But what Mykelti said next would change how fans saw her forever. In a tearful live stream, Mykelti said, "That storm reminded me how fragile everything is. Family, time, love, it can all be gone in a second." She spoke about reconnecting with her mom, Christine, healing from past wounds, and letting go of old resentment toward Kody. For fans, this wasn't just another sister wives moment. It was redemption, proof that even after the darkest storms, you can still find light. And while the tornado faded, the emotional storm within the Brown family may have only just begun. And tell us in the comments, what do you think this storm meant for Mykelti and Tony? Was it just fate or a warning from above? Part 2. It happened in a moment so ordinary, no one saw it coming. In the October episode of Sister Wives, cameras caught Robyn referring to Janelle and Christine's children not as our kids, but your kids. That tiny phrase detonated a storm across social media. Within minutes, Reddit threads, Facebook groups, and X posts exploded with one question. Did Robyn just expose how she really feels? One fan wrote, "That wasn't a mistake. That was honesty slipping through." Another said, "Now we know why the family fell apart." But what if this wasn't the first time Robyn revealed how she truly sees Kody's other children? Long before this slip, the signs were already there. When Robyn joined the family in 2010, she entered a world already stretched thin: 3 wives, 12 kids, and 1 husband trying to play peacemaker. Christine felt displaced. Janelle pulled away. Mary grew silent. And slowly, Robyn became the center. Fans noticed the shift: Kody spending holidays with Robyn, defending her decisions, and calling her the only one who's loyal. So when Robyn said your kids, it didn't sound accidental. It sounded like a confirmation. In that single phrase, years of buried resentment came roaring back. Christine, who fought to keep the family united, had often hinted that Robyn and Kody shared a different kind of marriage. Fans began calling it the legal wife advantage. The moment Robyn said your kids, viewers remembered those words, and everything suddenly made sense. But Robyn didn't stay silent for long. What she said in her response shocked even her supporters. A few days after the episode aired, Robyn went live on Instagram, trying to clarify the statement. She said, "I didn't mean it that way. I love all the kids. It just came out wrong." Some fans accepted her explanation. Others didn't. "Words reveal what the heart hides," one fan commented, and the debate only grew. For many, it wasn't about a single phrase. It was about what that phrase represented: a split that's been festering for years. And soon, even Kody himself would step into the storm. When asked about Robyn's comment, Kody shocked fans not by defending her, but by agreeing. Those words confirmed what viewers long suspected. Even Kody no longer saw his family as one unit. The twist? A production insider later revealed that the argument behind the scenes was even worse than what aired. Robyn allegedly stormed off set, accusing producers of trying to make her look like the villain. That revelation changed the narrative from one slip to a full-blown meltdown. And when Christine finally reacted, the fandom exploded all over again. Christine's response came quietly. No shade, no anger. Just a single post of her holding her grandkids, captioned, "Family is everything." For many fans, it was a symbolic mic drop. Christine didn't need to name names. Her piece spoke louder than Robyn's defense. And while Robyn has since stepped back from the spotlight, the damage may be irreversible. One phrase, two words divided the Brown legacy forever. But maybe that's the real lesson. Family isn't built by titles or legal papers. It's built by love that doesn't need to say ours. Tell us in the comments, do you think Robyn's words were a slip, or her true feelings finally surfacing? Let's deep dive in. Full details. Part 3. It began like any family road trip, a cross-country drive from Utah to North Carolina. Mykelti and Tony had packed snacks, toys for their twins, and faith that the open road would be kind. But nature had other plans. At 7:46 p.m., the National Weather Service issued a tornado warning along their route. Hail began slamming the car first like marbles, then like stones. Tony tried to stay calm. Mykelti whispered prayers, her hands trembling. "Tony, stop the car!" she said, but there was nowhere to go. And while the sky raged above them, the other storm, hundreds of miles away, was already brewing in Flagstaff. During that same week's episode, Robyn Brown, the once beloved fourth wife, made a comment that shattered the fragile illusion of unity. Fans froze. "That wasn't our kids. That was your kids." One fan wrote, "She finally said what we all knew she felt." Another posted, "This just confirmed the divide Christine warned us about." The episode trended for 48 hours straight. Viewers replayed that line again and again, frame by frame, analyzing tone, eye contact, even her breath. But as the fandom argued over Robyn's heart, Mykelti was still fighting to survive a real storm on the open road. Back on I-70, visibility dropped to 0. Winds over 90 miles per hour battered their car. In their dash cam recording, later released to local news, you can hear Tony whisper, "Hang on, we're gonna make it." Mykelti later revealed she left a voice note for her mom, Christine Brown, just in case. "Mom, tell everyone I love them." At 8:02 p.m., the tornado lifted less than 3 miles from their location. Emergency crews later confirmed an EF1 touchdown with a 2-mile path. But when the sun rose the next morning, survival wasn't the only headline. Faith, family, and forgiveness were about to collide. Mykelti posted a photo on Instagram, her twins asleep in her arms, captioned, "We made it through something terrifying. I'm just grateful." The comment section filled with prayers, until one user asked, "Did Robyn reach out?" That question reopened an old wound, because while Mykelti was Christine's daughter, she was also Kody's, and by extension, Robyn's stepdaughter. Meanwhile, Robyn broke her silence on Facebook Live, claiming, "I didn't mean to say your kids, I meant all of our kids." But the damage was done. Words reveal the heart, and hers just did. Then Kody spoke up, and his response only deepened the divide. When producers asked Kody Brown about Robyn's remark, he didn't deny it, he doubled down. "They are my kids. Robyn's done her best. She's had to deal with resentment from day one." To fans, that sounded like confirmation Robyn wasn't the unifier, she was the replacement. Behind the scenes, a production source revealed to In Touch Weekly that Robyn allegedly stormed off set after the episode aired, accusing editors of twisting her words. TLC declined comment. The twist came days later, when meteorological data and social media timelines aligned the tornado episode and the Your Kids controversy aired the same week. Two storms symbolically colliding. And the woman at the heart of both stories, Christine Brown, had the last word. Christine didn't post a statement. She didn't name names. Instead, she shared one quiet photo, her grandkids laughing in the backyard, with the caption, "Peace after the storm." For millions of viewers, that was the closure they needed. The Browns may never be one family again, but through tragedy and truth, each woman found her own voice. Mykelti found gratitude, Robyn faced accountability, and Christine, she found freedom. Maybe the real message was never about weather or words. Maybe it's this: you can't control the storm, but you can choose who you stand with when it hits. As the tornado footage and Robyn's confession played out in the same week, fans began drawing eerie connections between the two storms. On Reddit, one post titled "Nature Mirrored the Browns' Chaos" went viral overnight. One viewer wrote, "It's almost poetic. Mykelti faces a real tornado while Robyn creates one inside the family." Another fan shared, "Both storms showed who runs toward safety and who runs from responsibility." The symbolism wasn't lost on the Sister Wives community. Thousands of comments dissected the parallel: survival, loyalty, and emotional truth. Podcast hosts, Facebook groups, and YouTube analysts joined in, creating what some called the Storm Week theory. Fans argued that the timing wasn't coincidence. It was the universe exposing the cracks in Kody's once unbreakable family. Even longtime viewers who once defended Robyn admitted something had shifted. The woman once seen as the peacemaker now looked like the stormbringer. But was this just fandom overanalysis, or a pattern repeating itself one generation at a time? To understand why one phrase "your kids" caused such outrage, we spoke with family therapists and relationship analysts who've studied polygamous family dynamics. According to Dr. Karen Hall, a marriage counselor who's worked with plural families for over 20 years, language is the earliest sign of emotional detachment. When someone stops saying "are," they're unconsciously declaring separation, she explains. Polygamy expert Lindsay Hansen-Park noted, "What we see in the Browns is linguistic hierarchy. Robyn's words reflect the power imbalance Kody allowed." Producers, speaking anonymously, revealed that editors had actually cut out a follow-up line from Robyn that made things worse. "I can't be responsible for the way your kids treat me." The moment was deemed too inflammatory for broadcast. Even former TLC crew members confirmed tensions off camera. One recalled, "Christine was emotionally done. Janelle was exhausted, and Robyn felt targeted." That line was a crack that showed the whole structure had already split. The experts agree the real story isn't about blame, it's about grief. The Browns didn't just lose a marriage, they lost a shared identity. And while professionals debated the meaning of one sentence, Christine quietly prepared to show what healing truly looks like. Months after the chaos, Christine Brown stood in the backyard of her new Utah home, surrounded by children, grandkids, and laughter. For the first time in years, she looked free. In an interview with People magazine, Christine said, "When I left, I didn't take sides. I just chose peace." That single statement became a rallying cry for women everywhere who had followed her journey since 2010. Meanwhile, Robyn remained quiet online. Her absence only deepened the silence between the wives, a silence fans now describe as the ghost of what could have been. Christine's engagement to David Woolley was the final turning point. Viewers saw joy return to her eyes, a softness that had been missing through years of emotional survival. She often says, "Sometimes walking away is how you save everyone, not just yourself." That message, simple yet powerful, became the unofficial epilogue of the Brown family saga. As one fan wrote on Facebook, Christine didn't just survive her storm, she learned to dance in the rain. And maybe that's why millions still tune in not for the drama, but for the hope that even the most fractured family can someday find light after the storm. If this story moved you, tap that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Christine Brown's new beginning life after Kody. And tell us below, which storm do you think changed the Browns more? The one in the sky, or the one inside their hearts?